Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I will give you a recipe for stuffed ravioli. I'm switching to the tariff right now. I make my ravioli with a kilo of flour, friends. I put it in a large bowl like this. I open the center with a spoon. By adding the ingredients into it, I'll start kneading the dough. I add 3 eggs to the dumpling dough like this. I'm adding the salt now. I added a heaping tablespoon of salt. Ravioli dough. Salt will be a click more than other doughs, friends. You know that. 1 heaping tablespoon of salt is enough. I told you that I make ravioli from a kilo of flour, friends. 1 kilo of flour is equivalent to 8 cups of flour. With a 200 mm water glass. Now adding water in a controlled manner. I started kneading the dough. Again with a 200 mm glass. I used 2 cups of water in total. Our dough will be a hard dough. 3 eggs per kilo of flour. And 2 cups of water. Knead a very hard dough. While kneading the dough. And you can do the same as I did. Add the water in a controlled manner. And the dough. Knead at least 2 hours before you start making your ravioli, and let it rest. I prepared a full-scale recipe, friends. From this dough we made with 1 kilogram of flour. After adding the minced meat, 36, it turns out exactly 2 kilos of ravioli. Kneading a full-sized dough like this. It will also provide convenience to friends who are doing it for the first time. They can do it easily too. Now I've gathered the dough. I'll knead it until it's smooth. I took some countertop and knead it like this. See, I told you it would be a hard dough. This is the consistency of our dough. Let's knead it like this until it's smooth. If the dough of our ravioli is soft, friends, melting during cooking, can make our dumplings. So let's knead such a hard dough. After completing the kneading process, I rolled the dough like this. And I divided it into 3 equal pieces. Each of my meringues was around 500 g each, friends. If you can't open a very large diaper, you can also divide your dough into 4 equal meringues. In the weights of my meringues, I will show you approximately. I adjusted it by weighing it this way on the scale. On the meringue with less grams, I balanced it by adding a little bit of the extra gram. I adjusted it like this and made my meringues. Again, because our dough is a hard dough. This is how we make our meringues. I roll it with my hand towards the bottom. Thoroughly on the counter. I roll it again and connect the bottom part. My meringues. After I've done it all, I roll it in flour like this. And I put it in the bag. I'll close it well and let it rest like that. Let's definitely flour our meringues in this way and put them in the bag. Let's let it rest like that. Otherwise the dough will dry out and crust will form on top. After bagging them all like this, too, I'll let it rest for 3 hours. And while our dough is resting, let's prepare the filling of our ravioli. We have half a kilo of lean minced meat. I have spices and 2 medium onions. I'm putting the onions in a blender now. I drained the water from the onions that I took out of the rondo. Friends, I'm adding it this way. I prefer to grind it in a rondo, so that there are no big chunks in it. A teaspoon of black pepper for seasoning. A teaspoon of red pepper flakes. And again, I add a teaspoon of salt. These are the ingredients. I'm just stirring the filling nicely until they're well mixed, according to your taste. You can choose medium fat or medium fat minced meat. You can choose lean minced meat. But with very fatty minced meat, the ravioli is not really good. I wanted to point that out. Now I prepared my filling and I'm putting it aside. And my dough. I rested it and now I'm going to start opening it. Under my decoration, I add a little flour on top and start rolling it out. I don't add much flour, friends, our dough is a hard dough. Because it's dough, it doesn't stick when you roll it out. We will add if necessary, and if we make this dumpling dough too floury, friends, while we fold our ravioli. It will be very difficult for the dough to stick together. There may even be openings while cooking. So let's be careful to open it without flour. I rolled out the dough for my first dumplings, as you can see. Not too thin and not too thick, friends. Let's adjust the thickness and thinness well. Now I'm going to roll out the dough. I cut it with a ravioli apparatus. The ravioli that we cut with this apparatus, they're all the same size, friends. Let me just say this right away. I bought this ravioli apparatus from a glassware store. You can find it all over the place. The price is also very reasonable. Mine's the plastic one. Friends, knives are also available in real metal. You can take whichever one you prefer. I cut my dough lengthwise, and now I'm cutting from the other side, and I form little squares out of my dough. Look, they're all the same size. And we cut the squares from the inner cross. As you can see, I add it without overflowing around it. All with minced meat. After filling, we will proceed to the closure process. Let's not put too much minced meat, friends. Overflows when closing. And it could open up again. Let's add equal amounts of minced meat. Now I've moved on to folding our dumplings. As you can see, every two, we bring the ends closer together. After gluing, we glue the four ends together again. You can do it quickly after you get used to your hand. Very easy to make. If you've never done it before but you want to, you can make it by following my recipe exactly. My ravioli recipe is a full-scale and guaranteed recipe. You can do it with peace of mind, friends. Ravioli is a really delicious dish, but it's a little tricky to make. But you can do the folding together with the household. And it's a lot of fun, and it's over quickly. Now I'm gonna make all my dumplings. I did it, as you can see. I made my other doughs the same way. I'm not going to show it so that my video doesn't get any longer. Now I want to show you how I cooked it. I cooked some of my ravioli. And I put some of it in the freezer, friends. After the water I put in the pot for the ravioli boiled. A little oil in it. And I added a little salt. Then I add the ravioli and let it cook. With a plate to make it easier to throw it into the pot, I deployed an expedition. Let me show you my ravioli up close. Look, grain by grain, there was no sticking. I cooked these dumplings directly after making them, friends. I have not done any baking, drying, or shocking. I've got a little too much of my dumplings. I froze, friends, in the freezer with a tray like this. Then I take the refrigerator bag and store it in the freezer until I can use it. Look, there's more grains in the bag. I shocked it without gluing it together. And I bagged it. Now I'm preparing a butter sauce for my ravioli. After melting the butter, add the red. I'll add chili powder. Meanwhile, my dumplings are starting to cook. While the dumplings continue to cook, on the side, I prepared the yogurt and the butter sauce. Into the melted butter, I'm adding red pepper powder, friends. You can add tomato paste if you like. But this way, I think it tastes better with red chili powder. According to your taste. Chili powder. You can choose bitter or sweet. And my dumplings are cooked. Because, as you can see, I don't drain the water. Like this, spoon it out and put it on a plate. Add yogurt and sauce on it and consume it. It is more delicious in its juice, friends. I don't strain the water because the flavor goes into the juice, into the plate. And then I add yogurt. Again, the yogurt is up to your taste. Or with garlic. Or you can choose without garlic. And after adding the yogurt, I add paprika and butter. And our dumplings are ready to serve. To everyone who's going to do it, I wish you good luck and bon appetit. After watching my videos, please don't forget to leave a like and comment. If you are still not subscribed to my channel, you can subscribe for free. And turn on the notification bell. You can be instantly informed about my recipes. See you in new recipes. Goodbye.